Last time we left off, you had been shopping in the city of Azeron, selling your hard-fought treasure that you obtained from Eel Island, and making a pretty penny. You sought some scrolls for healing and protection from evil, so that you could banish whatever dark creature was haunting the dreams of Wade the Bloodcurrent, and restore his health after he had seemingly cursed. Taveron, together with Creamy, went to the Balthazar's Bazaar and met the aforementioned Balthazar, sold him a cursed dagger that they well knew would return to Taveron in a number of hours, and hastily made a retreat, stopping off in the Alchemist Tavern, where they met a gnomish barkeep who looked very tired, by the name of Casmin Loafers. And Casmin explained that the alchemist was being haunted by a restless spirit, and his description of the spectre rung a few bells for you both. It reminded you of the terrible fate that befell Peaches. You have all reconvened now in the breakfast club and had a thankfully uninterrupted long night's rest. We wake now on the 7th, on the 7th day of Midsummer. What are you going to do?
Well,
we better go shopping, get some nice robes before we head into a dark and dingy dungeon.
Yes, I must buy my robes. Excellent idea, correct.
Let's go to the Blue Dragon Tailor or whatever it's called.
Okay. And on your way out, the barkeep, elven barkeep of the Breakfast Club, notices you leaving. Says, good morning, gentlemen and lady. Will you be wanting breakfast? We have steak and eggs.
yes.
Well,
Yes.
yes.
You
There'll
don't
be
call it
2
bed
silver
and breakfast
pieces
for nothing.
each.
Oh, except I'm a vegan now, so I can't have steak or eggs.
We have some trail mix.
Lovely.
We have avocado cut in half.
We have this green fruit from the
does-
foreign lands, smashed on some lightly baked bread.
Oh, that sounds like hipster wank to me.
Okay, so you spend 40 minutes or so enjoying a very hearty breakfast, fuel for the day, and the portions are very generous at the breakfast club. As you leave the breakfast club, and go into a courtyard between streets on your way to the Blue Dragon Tailors, you notice a few gentlemen in very fancy robes. They look like fairly wealthy gentlemen, disassembling some kind of equipment that has been propped up in this courtyard. Creamy, who's got the highest intelligence?
I don't know why you're asking me.
Mine's 13.
10.
Yeah, Kurak, you probably recognise these as telescopes,
I'm well travelled, you know, so I do
scientific
know that.
telescopes.
The hobgoblin is the most intelligent among us.
Well, he's from Tazumi. It's like quite a technologically advanced, civilized place.
And I'm a monk.
Yeah, he's a scholar, effectively.
Alright, maybe I didn't say that. The hobgoblin's clever.
Yes, I have 13 intelligence.
What are you talking about?
What is your intelligence?
I'm street smart.
Well, okay, I'll ask. I'm going to ask one of these fine gentlemen why they've been building telescopes or dismantling telescopes.
Right.
Oh, hello. Oh yes, the telescopes. We've been observing the conjunction. It's been building for the last few days.
The
What?
conjunction.
Oh yeah,
So-
sorry, it's a bit technical, isn't it? We inhabit what the literate scholars among us call the prime material plane, and at rare times during the year, and further afield than that, other planes of existence meet our own plane and intersect. At the moment we're seeing a conjunction the likes of which hasn't been seen for nearly 20 years. The prime material plane is in conjunction with 3 other planes: the ethereal plane,
Oh.
the Shadowfell, and the Feywild.
We've met some people from the Feywild.
You have? Fascinating. Yes, I suppose it does make sense. At these times of conjunction, the boundaries between our plane and the planes that border ours become weaker. It's like a door that's been left slightly ajar.
How do you travel across the blades?
That is a mystery to me, I'm afraid, and to many who study the conjunctions. Ancient writings tell that there were once places of power where travelling between the planes was easy as stepping into a portal. You would cease to be in the prime material plane and end up somewhere else. But that was eons ago. Now the doors rip asunder randomly, it seems. Just a fraction, and then closed again.
Can this happen anywhere?
It happens along the ley lines. These are the lines of where the planes are intersecting, where one of the planes is intersecting our own prime material plane.
So,
Where are
Where
these ley
across-
lines?
where across the city would these be?
Difficult to say at this point. We won't know with any certainty until the conjunction itself, which we predict will be close to the end of the month. But it would follow that if there are incursions from creatures from the other planes, that they would enter our own world upon these ley lines.
Well, where was our first meeting with the
The
Feywild?
sewer.
Where
The
was
sewer
that?
is the ley line.
Was that in Port Marin?
It was in St. Claudio Square, just under St. Claudio Square.
So that was where our first meeting with some creatures from the Feywild were. So there could be. We haven't come
Yes.
across any more yet.
I'm not a fan of the Feywild. They killed me.
What do you know of the other
Vicious.
planes?
Vicious beasts.
Not much really. Just the we've encountered one, but not any of the others.
Brutal fighters.
They say that the Feywild is a plane of colour,
Calm.
saturation. Everything there is brighter and more vivid. With the
Harmless.
Shadowfell, it's as if the colour is the exact opposite, the other side of the coin. It's as if colour, feelings, emotion, everything that makes life worth living is sucked away in the Shadowfell. It's a bleak and grey place. Neither is inherently evil or good, though. They're just two sides of nature. One is vivid and dynamic and wild, and the other is dull and grey and devoid of emotions.
That sounds like my ideal destination.
And the ethereal plane again is different. It's a substance between planes, really. Things can travel on the ethereal plane and see into our prime material plane, but people on the prime material plane cannot see things on the ethereal plane. You are effectively a ghost on the ethereal plane, traveling through objects.
So, would there be certain points over the city that these could meet then? So we've done St. Claudio Square, but if we search along a certain line, we could find more.
You must be on the lookout for these incursions to try and find the position of the ley lines. I'm sure that it will become apparent to you as you continue your search. Or if not, by the end of the month, we shall know the position of the incursion.
Will the ley lines be parallel? Or will they be all over the place? Will there be a pattern to
Difficult to
it?
say. They will meet at some point.
Ah, definitely not parallel then. We've ruled that out. Good work,
Well,
team.
Didn't we? Someone died in the Port Marin barracks, and that's just along from St. Claudio Square, so there could be a straight line. One of the lines going across here.
Yeah.
If you want to know more, you should come and see us at the Terolius Academy. My name is Darian.
Darian. Okay.
I
We'll
have an
come
office
visit you.
in the main building, 3rd floor, 2nd door on the right.
We'll come and visit.
Well, a pleasure talking to you. And what are your names?
Kurak.
Wade.
And Creamy, I didn't say anything, but I was standing there.
Pleasure. And he kisses you lightly on the hand.
Can you get off my hand, please? Oh, Creamies.
Gigantor.
Got any rats?
So he continues packing up his thing, his telescope, and hurries off after his colleagues.
Okay.
Let me just make a note of his name.
Yeah, I've already forgotten it.
It was Darian.
Do I know where my son lives?
Yes.
Where does
He lives
live?
at the the Blood Current estate,
Oh,
which
that's
is on
the
your map.
I can see that actually. Oh, that's quite a long way to go.
So you continue on to the tailor's. It's quite a posh building, a very minimalist storefront with large, thin vertical glass windows with all the latest robes in vivid colours adorning the windows. You enter and a little bell tinkles, and emerging round the corner from the counter is a man immaculately dressed with a thin black beard that comes to a point, a very thin pencil moustache, and a swept back hair. Good morning. You look like a rough and ready group. Which of you would like to be finely dressed?
Me, please.
Officer. Now, what kind of style are you looking for?
I've got a very,
Chapless.
very important Order of the Bronze meeting.
Congratulations, it's most prestigious. We have some dress robes that I can show you.
Yes.
We have this number here with a red long-tailed coat, frilly shirt, thin
Arse's
trousers, and a leather belt. Something more like this, or another look? Do you have any colours in mind? A cut? Do you want the latest fashion?
Come on out with it, Wade.
I'd like to look more trendy than I am. Yes, the latest fashion would be brilliant. I want to
I think we
impress.
should go for dark colours. There's a bit of a paunch here. Don't mean to be rude, but dark colours do well with a figure such as yours, a more rotund man.
What? I didn't realise he was
What?
big.
Quite muscular up here, very nice. Yes, okay. And he starts taking measurements of you.
I'm not fat.
He comes out after a while with a beautiful sort of velvety red waistcoat, long-tailed coat, with a sort of embroidered gold along the lapels. A dark black shirt, a little frilly, but not too much. There's again some embroidered gold lace, or not lace, thread around the collar and down the and gold buttons, and a pair of very fine trousers that are. They're not made of silk. You're not sure what material they're made of, but they feel very light. You spend some time trying it on and look in the mirror, and yes, it is a very fine suit. And if you were a bit more clean shaven and less sort of scrapes and cuts and mud and dirt, you'd probably look the part.
I had a bath at the Breakfast Club. Yes, this is the ticket.
That one is 15 gold pieces for the entire suit.
15 gold pieces.
Will you be requiring anything else? Perhaps for the lady?
Well, my son doesn't really get on with me. Creamy, would you like to be my +1?
Yeah, go on then.
Excellent.
And
Yes.
what would the lady be after? A long ball gown, perhaps?
Well, I've never really worn a dress. What suits my figure?
Dark colours, I think.
Very dark.
But I think you would look splendid in a ball gown, perhaps matching the gentleman with some gold detailing.
A
Yes,
black ball gown.
lovely. Perhaps some shoulder pads.
I'll see what I can do. He goes into the back and brings out another beautiful garment. This time a long black dress. There's not so much shoulder pads, but the straps are quite wide and come to a flare over the shoulder. So there's a bit of material covering the shoulder. And again, it's emblazoned with gold patterning, and there's a sort of gold rim around the bottom of the dress. This one is a little more expensive. This is 25 gold pieces.
It needs to be much more revealing.
Okay, I can do that. One moment. It comes back 10 or 15 minutes, 10 minutes later, and it's a similar cut dress, just very low V over the front. This one will definitely show off the more curvaceous parts of your figure, ma'am.
Your chin. So,
Yes, we don't want any more revealing than that. That looks very lovely, Creamy.
Well, normally I'd prefer something much more revealing, but whatever you say, it's your ceremony, Mr. Wade.
Excellent. How about we do a deal for the two? I can be quite persuasive.
the
Yes.
shop keeps waiting. Oh, yeah.
I roll. Oh, yes. And Creamy.
For a beautiful lady like myself,
Very beautiful.
you wouldn't want to overcharge me.
Let's see. I can do you them both for 35 gold pieces.
How much do I even have? That's probably fine.
Yeah, let's split that. Yeah.
You've invited Creamy and made her
Seeing
pay
as it
for
is for such an auspicious occasion, I would like you would be doing me a favour, to be honest, showing off my my designs at such a prestigious ceremony. A pleasure doing business with you.
Excellent.
Well done
You
for
bow
paying, Wade.
deeply.
I'm afraid I don't have all that. I don't have enough gold. I'll put half in.
Fine.
You need some components for your spells. You've
I
just
think they're
spent
gonna have
all
to
your-
wait.
You've just spent all your money on lavish suit.
Okay, so what are you doing now?
Anyone else? I would like to get a longbow because I'm proficient in that, but I don't have one.
We can go there next. Longbow shop.
Somewhere to get a longbow because we've got all that money from Tavron's got it. If he's there, Tavron.
I can get my sword pobble upgraded. How much money is it each?
So there's weapons. You know that there's weapons on Steel Street down here.
Steel Street, where's that?
It's
right
in
down.
Port Flores.
Is there anywhere closer?
You don't know of anywhere closer.
I wonder if they have any in the shop downstairs in the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, how much money do we have each?
I don't know how much it was altogether.
I probably don't have enough to put a pommel stone in.
You just spent most of our money on...
on removing a curse, yeah.
Where is Jimmy?
I don't want to take more than my fair share. Which I already have.
I don't know. Where is Jimmy? Jimmy! Apparently he's in the call.
But apparently not.
Maybe you'll turn up again. Alright, so where are you headed then?
Dread. Well,
you know that there were some weapons available in St. Claudio Square in the in the covered market in Port Marin.
Okay, where should we go then, lads? I would like to get a longbow. Unless anyone's got one.
Nope. Yeah, we'll try the covered market first, and then the steel place, if not.
You're sure that they so the covered market's a bit of an odd collection of things, so they might or might not have what you need, but the Steel Street is full of blacksmiths and weaponsmiths, so they'll definitely have a place doing a Fletcher in there.
Okay.
It's also a place where you could get a pommel stone fixed.
Let's go straight there.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Okay, so can you draw out your route through the streets so I know what you go past?
Okay.
Someone, whoever's leading.
So we're going this way?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, down to the St. Bastian's Basilica. So, you probably would notice as you go past the sort of grand tower and huge grand building that is the Imperial Spice Market.
Oh.
You'd go. Apart from that, I think you'd get straight to Steel Street. So yeah, you wander through Zabira, and Zabira's a sort of half-baked place, sort of bridging what historically were two separate cities of Port Flores and the rest of Azeron, sort of grown up in as the cities have merged together. The most notable thing about Zabira is the huge Colosseum that is the Plaza de Bestia. But apart from that, there's sort of a hodgepodge of some fairly posh stone impressive buildings, other sort of more like shanty buildings, sort of nestled between stone buildings. And certainly towards the west, it becomes a bit of a construction site as new streets are being built. But you enter Port Flores, which is a more established place with larger stone buildings. And Port Flores, as its name suggests, is adorned with beautiful climbing flowers covering lots of these buildings, and they all have orange terracotta roofs. It's a really beautiful place. In the centre of Port Flores is the impressive sort of fort of the Port Authority, which is where all commercial trading of the capital city of Azeron goes through. So this is like the centre of trade for the entire Azeronian Empire. But you can just see in the distance as you walk down Steel Street. And there's a smell here, and around the fringes of Port Flores, especially down Steel Street, there's a lot of chimney stacks sending out smoke and particles from the furnaces and forges down Steel Street. And you can certainly smell and feel that at the back of your throat as you're walking down. It's quite busy, quite a wide street, lots of shop fronts with sort of open courtyards, people hammering on anvils, calling out to traders as wagons go past. It's a bustling place. You spot, as at the top of the road, there is a Fletcher's.
Okay.
That's it there.
I'll pop in.
What can I do for you?
I'd like a longbow.
Just your standard? Nothing
Yep.
special?
Just a standard.
Let me have a look there. I can certainly do that for you. And you'd like some arrows?
Yeah, please.
How many arrows?
I'll depends how much they are.
I can do you a longbow for 50 gold pieces. And if you want 20 arrows, that'll be another gold piece on top of that.
Okay. So I don't know how much we've got in the Tavron money.
Shall I have a look on Tavron's character sheet?
Yeah.
I'm back. Hello.
Do you know where Jimmy
Sorry
is?
guys, I'm back as well.
Oh, right.
Oh, very suspicious.
Mm.
Jeez.
Oh, I feel so relieved.
Stripping paint, you say?
Okay, so
Stripping
you
the
can put it out
pants.
yourself now.
Tavron, how much gold do we have?
We have 650 left.
I'm going to be taking 50 of that for a longbow.
Will you now?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll do 5 gold pieces of my own for 100 arrows.
100 arrows. Okay, so put that in your character sheet. I don't know how much arrows weigh each, but you should be able to drag them in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wade, you notice like 20 meters down the road, there seems to be a swordsmith.
Ah,
It's a dwarven fellow.
chaps, I'm just gonna have a talk with this dwarf about this cobblestone. And I head down there.
Oh, aye, laddie. What can I do for you?
Ah, you look like just the chap who could put this cobblestone in this sword and make it better.
Oh, your chattering started to wear on me.
What?
Sorry, that's a Baldur's Gate line. That can
Yeah.
resist it. He, you hold out the cobblestone and he sort of inspects it. And your sword. Oh, aye, I could do that. No prob. 50 gold pieces.
Well, of course. I'm sure the party will agree with that. Very reasonable.
How much?
50 gold pieces.
Jesus.
What does it get you, that pommel stone?
+1.
Oh.
That's a bargain.
Yeah, no.
Can I... I raid correct. No, the Tavron's purse. I take 50 gold for it.
Is that a euphemism?
No, it's literal.
How many do you need?
50.
Right. Yeah, all good.
This'll only take me 20 minutes, lad. And
Alright.
you wait as he deftly heats up the sword, makes the pommel malleable, and fits the stone neatly into it before sealing it, so it's nice and tight. And as he finishes, the blade, the stone glows that pale blue colour, and the blade begins to just faintly shimmer that same blue. Oh, a magic pommel! Oh, this must have set you back a fair amount.
Ah, well, it did in injury and adventure.
And he holds out the sword with both hands. It's an enormous sword, even for a great sword, and scaled next to this dwarf, it just looks like almost like a comically large sword. But you're quite a beefcake anyway. So, as you grip the handle, you feel the sword feels different. It feels like it's nimbler, like it's lighter, and you sort of do a figure of 8 through the air. It feels like it's cutting the air finer. It just feels like a completely new weapon, a superior weapon.
Ah. You've done a bloody good job.
Come back anytime.
Could you fit
I make-
cobblestones to my armor and...
No, but I make a fine set of armor as well.
Nice.
Anyone else want anything from Steel Street?
Oh, yeah. How much
yeah.
for a two-handed battle axe?
You wander a little further down the street, maybe 100 meters, and there is a polearms weaponsmith who's got halberds, battle axes, two-handed battle axes, and spears and pikes of varying size and sort of decorative flair.
Hmm. Hang on, is battle axe the one that's two-handed, or is there another one?
Great axe, I believe.
Great axe. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
there are
after.
great axes there as well.
How much for a great axe, my friend?
The shopkeeper here is a half orc, big burly half orc, with his bull tusks that sort of come up almost to just below his eyes, top of his cheeks. A great axe. I can sell you a standard great axe for 30 gold pieces.
Have we, how much have we got in a kitty?
550 left.
I'll consult with my fellow comrades, wherever they may be. Can I have 30 gold pieces, please?
Yeah.
Here you go, sir. 30 gold pieces.
There you go, dwarven great axe. Very fine, very good job, if I do say so myself.
Yes, sir, thank you very much.
Pleasure. Anyone else for anything else?
Keats, I have a general question about how does all the gear upgrading work?
Upgrading? Oh, so if you want to add something, if you've got your character sheet open,
Yeah.
and you search for the item on the compendium, so on the little I button, so say if you wanted to add a great axe, you'd search great axe, and then all you do is you can drag and drop it into your character sheet, and it will appear as both an item that you're carrying, and if it's a weapon, it will appear on your weapons as well. You might have to unequip the weapon you have at the moment and equip the new weapon.
How do I know what would be good for my character to have?
So you are a rogue, which means that you've got proficiency with long sword, a rapier, short sword, and all simple weapons. So if you search weapons,
Oh yeah, got you.
martial weapons, for instance. Oh no, that's a proficiency. Weapons, yeah. And there should be a table that tells you how much damage they do and some of their stats. So a good one for you to take note of is finesse. Finesse. So most weapons, if you are whacking someone with a weapon, as in a melee weapon, it's a strength. It's your strength modifier gets added to it. But if it's got the finesse property, it means that instead of your strength modifier, you can choose to use your dexterity modifier. And because your dexterity modifier is miles better than your strength modifier, finesse would be much better for you. So I think your strength is -1, isn't it?
Yeah.
So for a longsword, for instance, it's longsword has finesse. So it's 1d8. So to hit would be d20 plus your proficiency bonus, plus either your strength modifier, which would be -1, but because it's it's a rapier, not a longsword that's got finesse.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's got that finesse characteristic, you can add your dexterity modifier instead. So it'd be 1d20 plus your proficiency modifier plus your dexterity modifier to hit, which is really good.
So basically, rapier is the best bet.
For you, rapier is the best weapon you can get that is one-handed, that you can use your finesse with.
Then I already have one, so no benefit in me buying a new one.
Yeah,
Unless
but
it's got some kind of special ability.
yeah.
And what about,
and-
sorry, another question. What about with armor? So say I wanted to get armor in this street.
Yeah. So you're as a rogue, you're limited somewhat. So actually, this is a general point. The armor works like this: light armor, you get your full dexterity modifier. Medium armor, you're going to get up to +2 on your dexterity modifier. So if your dexterity modifier is more than +2, you'll only get +2 if you're wearing medium armor.
Mm-hmm.
And heavy armor gives you no dexterity bonus at all. So if your dexterity is really shit, you should be wearing heavy armor, if you can. If your dexterity is really good, you probably want light armor. You are proficient with...
Light armor.
Yeah, light armor. So it wouldn't even be... Yeah, it's not worth you getting medium or heavy armor.
I actually think I'm still naked.
So the best light armor... I think is studded leather.
Oh, studded.
I can't find it anywhere. Studded. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Studded leather. Studded leather armor is light armor, which gives you AC 12. So if your AC is better than 12, it's not going to do a lot for you, I don't think.
My AC is 16.
Yeah, it probably won't do a lot.
So it's just
Because
there
you
to
basically
look
don't
nice.
need armor because you just dodge out of the way of everything.
Right, I'll stay naked then.
I think you're wearing some robes. I'm pretty sure you bought some robes at some point.
Yeah, I've got leather armor in my
Okay.
equipment list. All right, thank you very much.
Anyone want anything else?
So with this sword now, does that can I add +1 to it?
What I would do is get rid of it and drag in a greatsword +1.
Oh, okay.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah. And with your armor, I didn't quite get it. So are you saying that plate mail wouldn't be an improvement if my dexterity was high? Or
What's your dexterity?
11?
So that doesn't give you any bonus, though, does it?
No.
You've got +0. So for you, because you can wear heavy armor is the best.
Oh, right, yeah.
So if you had full plate, I think it gives you 19 armor class or 18. On the wrong thing.
How much is full plate?
It's quite expensive.
Wow.
So plate armor gives you 18 armor class. But I believe it's about, and your character would know this, because you're of the upper echelons. Full plate is about 1.5 grand.
Well, I had to wait for that.
Yeah. And of course,
Is there one between chainmail and full plate?
yes. Um,
Flint mail.
there is scale mail.
How much is that?
Scale mail would set you back about 50 gold pieces. Let me just check that
Oh.
that is the right thing.
That's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, full plate's really expensive. But it's meant for, like, nobles. Scale mail has an AC of 14. So what's your AC at the moment?
16?
Oh, maybe it isn't scale mail then.
Is it splint mail?
It might be splint, yeah. Splint armor. Is it heavy armor? Yeah, oh yeah, splint armor is the one you want. Splint is probably much more expensive than that. Splint is 200 gold pieces.
I don't think. Well, if anyone. No. Well.
Bear in mind, I've got to pay this guy 1,000 gold pieces. I'd rather we didn't blow it all.
Okay, I'll hold off. But if I die, then it's your fault.
That's fine.
I do say attack is the best form of defense, and you've upgraded your attack.
Yeah.
I might find some down in the dungeon anyway.
I have to get some splint mail later. Yeah. But that means that any monster with splint mail is going to be really hard to hit.
Yeah. Also, you know, it might be worth looking at the corpses of your enemies occasionally to see what they've got.
Ooh.
You've never ever done that once, I don't think.
Oh.
What, in this campaign? We did it loads in the last one.
Yeah, that's because I normally. That's probably because I've been a bit stingy this time. In this specific campaign, there are at least a few enemies that have some stuff.
Right, are we going down the Breakfast Club? Is that the
Yeah,
plan?
let's do it.
Yes.
You've already paid for it, so for the sake of expediency and the fact that I want to show off the new thing, you head off into the Breakfast Club, say hello to the barkeep, and tell him that you are descending into the pit. A group of onlookers, adventurers and alike, look on with excitement and a mixed bag of emotions of sort of trepidation, sort of cheering. A few of them look like they want you to fail, but most of them seem like they're generally excited for you to descend. This is obviously a big deal for the Breakfast Club, and a burly hobgoblin fellow starts cranking the winch, lowering you down deeper and deeper under the Breakfast Club into the pit.
Ooh.
Ba, 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 ba.
Bring it on. I'm going to kill the shopkeep when I get down there. Gotta punch his heart out.
Ooh.
Okay.
So, as you will be able to see, we now have dynamic lighting, which means that each of you can see something quite different because of your line of sight and your various dark visions.
Very cool.
And as you peek around the corner, more stuff will be revealed.
That is cool.
That is very good.
Ooh.
Still not as good a benefit for the subscription as the theme tune, but
Yeah, obviously.
It's a bit dark in here.
So you stand in a candlelit room. It's clearly some kind of basement to the Breakfast Club. But there's two odd things about it. Firstly, there seems to be a passageway that's been broken through in the northwest corner that, peeking through, those of you with dark vision can see leads into some sort of grim tunnels lined with bones and skeletons. In the southern part of this upper L part, there is a door. Apart from that, there's various barrels, chests, barrels of empty barrels down here where beer used to be stocked.
Didn't
It
the
looks
guy?
like there's
Sorry, go on.
you can hear a few squeaks in the dark as some rats and vermin tracking the corner of this room. It's not like it doesn't look like the patrons of the Breakfast Club or the owners of the Breakfast Club come down here very often.
The guy upstairs told me where to find the dwarf. Which direction did he say? I can't remember.
I think he said south.
Right, so he might
we
be
check?
through this door.
Can we check through the crates and everything to see if there's anything?
It's mainly barrels. There's some cases here of old wine bottles. There are some that are still full. They're covered in dust, and you've no idea how long they've been down here. The barrels are mainly empty. There's a few dregs of sort of rank-smelling liquid in them.
Cheers.
Let's go through this door.
Okay. Look at this. Boop.
Can I be checking for traps?
Yep. Roll a perception check.
Oh. Ah, the door.
Okay, so yeah, at the end of this sort of roughly hewn cavern, there's another door. This time, the first door was just like any old door, sort of nothing special about it. This one is very bespoke oak and grand with sort of gold trim around it.
Can we just go in?
You can try the door.
We'll try the door.
Should we test the door for any dodgy shit?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll make a perception check.
Oh.
It's a door. You're confident it's a door? Nothing funny about it?
This looks like a door, everyone.
Ooh.
Let's go through it.
So you pull open the door, and inside is a very out of place scene. It's basically a shop in this underground chamber at the end of this cave, filled with magical trinkets. A sort of untidy shop, but clean and cosy. There's a rug on the floor, and in the corner stands a small gnome.
Let's kill him.
Hello, gnome.
Oh, hello. Welcome to my shop.
Thanks.
I'm pretty sure that my name was revealed in the last episode, but I can't remember it. So for this purpose, let's say my name is Eldarin Bumberhill.
I think his name was Yonderlin.
Yonderlin Bumberhill.
Do you know your own name?
I've been down here quite a while. I forget things.
Do we need any health potions or anything?
Always good to have a few, isn't it?
You got any health potions, Yonderlin Bumberhill?
Mr. Bumberhill? Can I just call you Bum?
Let me just write down my name so I don't forget it again. Yonderlin Bumberhill. What a brilliant name.
It's a good one. It's powerful.
Yes, I have lots of health potions. What variety are you looking for?
Cheap ones.
Strong, weak, medium.
Cheap.
What's cheap?
Weak ones, then. Let me see. I can do you a minor healing potion for 50 gold pieces.
Fucking hell.
How much?
No, thank you. How much does minor heal you by?
One hit point.
Potion of healing. 2d4 plus 2 hit points.
50 gold pieces. That's 47 more gold pieces than I have. Goodbye, Yonderlin Bumberhill.
Would you not like to see my wares? I have some exciting magic items, and I'm always looking to buy.